Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Drawing Down the Dragon. I'm Snappy, and thank you for joining me for our monthly tarot reading for November 2025 for those with significant Scorpio placements. So, if you have lots of Scorpio in your star chart, either in your sun, your moon, or your rising, this is the reading for you. And today we're going to the Thoth Tarot by Lady Frida Harris and Aleister Crowley. And we'll be doing a 9-card Saturn Square reading. And this is a community spread for anyone with Scorpio placements. So remember to trust your own personal intuition above all and discard what doesn't resonate. All right. And let us invoke Apollo and the Muses and ask them to shine their light upon Scorpio, to guide them throughout the month, and to help them to realize the beauty of their dreams. So, Apollo and the Muses, what is the empowering and inspiring message for Scorpio? All right, let's take a look. And we'll give our cards a quick cut here. Muses inspire. All right. And our center image is the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands dominion. Such incredible, powerful, wild energy, right? This is all about recognizing our power and our potential, the force of our will, understanding that we can fight and overcome the other, that we can engage with them and empower ourselves in that generative force, that we have the strength and the will to endure, the force that can dominate the world around us. And such power demands great responsibility. We are our own force. That means you can and you will accomplish if you try, and there's no excuse for failure, right? It also means that you must recognize your own ability and love and harmonize with the people around you. Put this power into good use. The responsibility is all yours, Scorpio. Wild, powerful energy to be in our center. Let's continue. Okay, beautiful. We have the Fool, Dionysus, the Zero, the primordial elemental air, right? Wild, incredible energy. And this energy is calling you to embrace your passion, to recognize your power and your potential, to understand this energy of the two, to fixate upon that passionate desire, on that ability, and to leap into this energy, to empower yourself in this. For the energy of the Fool is that childlike wonder and audacity. This energy calls you to take the leap, to pursue your desires with the full intensity of your being, right? Look, the magic of the sun is coming from the center of its being as it leaps after its desires with that full intensity. This is what we are called to, and to do it with that childlike innocence, without care, without worry, with just that lust. Go for it. Try. Believe in yourself. Make that leap. Wow. Wild stuff. And yeah, look at this. The elemental air, the ace of air. Wow. The root of the element of air. This is the beginning, right, of a new profound perspective, new profound wisdom and understanding. There's a thread here. There's something that's come, that's truly inspiring, that's offering you truth. A new profound way to see the world, to understand things. Can you take hold of this energy? Right? We are called to leap after it, to pursue it with passion, to really engage this thread and to follow it through. Allow this knowledge to grow and to blossom. The ace demands that we empower ourselves in the will and the magic of Apollo, that we see that energy come to the height of its completion, that we really invoke our will and our imagination, that we plant the seed in the templum and allow this to blossom. Right? If we are to truly embrace this energy, to pursue this information, where does it lead us? How do we come to true understanding? What does that look like and mean? Wow, there's so much potential and opportunity here, right? We just have to embrace our ability, pursue our passions, engage in this new perspective and imagine, right? Wow. Look at this. Oh, man. This is truly, truly powerful, magical energy here. We have the 10 of Wands, right? The Ten of Wands is wild. It is the completing of the cycle in the fire, right? The breaking free of the chains of Saturn, the overcoming of oppression. This is true loving self acceptance and realization, facing oneself in the mirror, no longer bound and constrained by the false perceptions of others or of the self, right? We are no longer caught up in all of that, expectation and desire, but rather are able to be ourself, right? When we can recognize our own power and ability, then we can just be. We no longer have to be defined by everything. So much about this understanding of our powers, having the strength to come to the end of the cycle, right? The strength to be ourself, to leap after our desires is also to break free of all that expectation, to come to this empowered realization, to have that strength to endure and to persist to a point where we can truly be ourselves unfettered and unbound. And the 10 allows us to return to the ace, to the root of the element, to really empower ourselves in our will again, to inflame ourselves in that passionate spark, and to see this energy take us to greater heights, this time with profound wisdom born of experience, right? We've gone through the cycle. We have come to this profound self-understanding, and this is that energy that is able to recognize and be okay with itself. We need to be in that loving acceptance before we can truly transform and grow, right? If you really wish to become greater than what you are, you have to be in this energy now, right? And then we can grow and move past it. This is the breaking free of all that falsehood and accepting ourselves and our time and our place and our moment. And now we have the strength and the will to move beyond it. Powerful stuff here. Let's continue. Oh man, the 9 and the 10. How incredible is this? How incredible is this? The 9 of Wands, strength, telling us to shine brightly, to pursue our passions with that full intensity of our being, to have that will to endure. This energy says, I will endure. I must. I have the power and the potential. I stand tall. I shine brightly, impassioned and inflamed. Wild energy here. Look at this. When we can recognize our own power, we can have the strength to pursue and to become our best self, to break free of false expectations, to really inflame and to learn, to come to true empowered self-realization. Wow, where does this take us? Man. Now this is powerful stuff. The 10 of Swords, ruin, right? And it's connected to the ace. Wow. We have the full cycle. We complete the entirety of the cycle. We come to true, profound wisdom and understanding when we recognize our will, commit to that new perspective and see it through. Look at that, 2 10s back to back. We just need the strength to endure. And what is the 10 of Swords? The ruin, right? The ruin. This is such wild energy, but beautiful energy. This is us stepping outside of ourselves, gaining a greater perspective and recognizing that we have manifested our greatest fears and our own limits. We are the biggest issue, right? So much of our worldview is caused and constructed within the mind, is a product of our thinking. And this is about recognizing that ruination energy, right? Recognizing that we have come up into the heights of the air, disconnected ourselves from reality. But at the heights of the air, there's also this profound wisdom and reason. If we can, with this energy, what we've done is we've taken that greater perspective. We've stepped outside of ourselves and we can see ourselves from outside and recognize what we have done. Recognize that we are coloring and distorting reality. It's not that things aren't difficult, that things aren't hard, but how we perceive them and how we handle them, we are in control of. And this energy is not serving us, it's hurting us. It's allowing us to be in this fearful, ruinous energy, this self-destructive force. But with this recognition, with this understanding, we can return back to the root of the element. We can come back into the base energy of the air and begin the cycle anew, this time with profound wisdom and understanding. Wisdom born of experience, having gone through the cycle, right? Having recognized our fears and what overthinking can do, having understood that our perspective can lead to this ruinous, self-destructive, self-isolating force, and that it takes greater perspective to truly understand this and to break free. Wow, 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 wow. This is really powerful, powerful stuff. There's so much self-realization happening here, so much empowerment, and it's all because we have that will. We recognize our power. It's all because we have that strength, that audacity to endure, and that empowered leaping. We're trying, we're passionate, we're reaching, we're in that Zagreus Dionysus energy. Scorpio, this is about you really embracing that passionate fire, right? Pursuing this true understanding and this will and seeing it to completion. Whoa, this is powerful stuff, powerful stuff. Yeah, and look at that. Certainly. Fortuna, Tai Chi, Hail Fortuna. The 10, the completing of the first cycle in the major arcana, right? And Fortuna is such wild energy, such empowering energy. When we see this card calling us to recognize that we are in this empowering moment, this intense moment, because the energy of the wheel of fortune, of Fortuna, Tai Chi, she comes to impearl us, to transform us, to pressurize us like diamonds, right? Wild, intense energy. But if you can rise to this moment, if you can face this intensity head on, if you can overcome your limits, right? Then this energy will truly empower you. The wheel spins, and wealth and grandiose power will be your reward, right? The cycle continues. We break free of all of this energy, and then we come to new profound beginnings, you know? We just have to have the will and the strength and the passion to persist, to continue, to push through the hard parts that will lead to new empowered joy, right? Can you rise and meet the challenge? Can you see this for what it is? Can we really engage this energy? Can we take that leap into this intensity of this moment? Wow. Wow, 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 right? This is incredible. Where do we go from here? Oh man, the death, 13, death, right? Taking us to the 4, the crossroads, right? Magic of Hecate, transformation, change, radical energy. And this is a true change in an ending, right? When we see the energy of death, we first have to recognize that this isn't something that is inevitable, right? You cannot avoid this energy. You have to go through it. This is where we're called, and this is where we go, you know? And this death energy, it leads to such profound metamorphosis. It leads to such profound, inescapable change, right? It is a profound ending. That which came before is gone. That which comes after is new. This is a real intense force. And look, we are called to leap into the change, to embrace this energy, right? To recognize this, to have the strength to endure and to persist, right? Look, both of these energies are so intense, right? So intense, so much pressure, right? So much wildness, endings and beginnings, right? We have a beginning and an end right here. But look at this. If you have that true passion, that strength, if we can persist in this, we will push through, and that wheel will reward us. We will come to such profound understanding. And look at that. The Lovers. Incredible energy, right? The Lovers card. The perfected 6. The energy, right? The Lovers card is all about commitment, making a profound choice of seeing oneself reflected in the other and engaging in that process of divine imitation, of going through that loving refinement to leave the ego, right? Commitment, and then embracing of that cause, embracing of that other, of transforming, of going through that true alchemicalization, right? This is profound willed magic, embracing the other, embracing that energy of love in its most grandiose perspective. But it demands that you commit to this, that you make that profound choice, that you are in that divine imitation, in that pursuit. We have the strength to do this. We have this power, you know. This is really glorious energy, you know, and that loving energy in many ways will be, you know, it's an ego death. It is both the fortune gained and it is where we're going, right? To truly embrace that love energy, we will shed the energy that once served us, pass through and change, go through this process of refinement to become and to reform the divine androgyne with the other. Wow, 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 wow. There's so much magic here. Look at this, look at this, look at this. Okay, Scorpio, now that we have our full spread here, right? Look, there's so much incredible potential here, so much coming into true empowered understanding, right? Passing through the gates of death and finding true purpose, right? Learning to grow and to transform, to rise to the heights. So much potential. We just need to recognize our ability, have the strength, and to leap, right? To leap and to change, to face and gain a new perspective, to see this energy through, to endure, to face all of this radical change and separation, and to continue through it. Wow, 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 Scorpio. This is a magical, magical moment for you. A moment of true empowerment, of coming to true understanding, of breaking free of the chains of expectation, of falsehood, right? Of learning to love and accept the self, breaking free of doubt and fear, of recognizing one's own, you know, empowered imagination's role in this, and coming into that reasoned perspective of learning to listen to the world around us, the people around us, and to face the world with truth and honesty, right? To pursue that new perspective and to come to greater loving understanding, right? And what does this lead us? It leads us to commit, to see outside of the self, to shed one's ego, and to engage in a process of becoming divine, intimate with another, right? And this is the process of reforming the divine androgyne, of becoming the phonies, the thesis, the metis, right? Of re-engaging in this energy of returning back to that soul of creation, of seeing oneself reflected in the matter, in the muse, and in the lover, right? And of coming in and creating that which is greater than ourselves. For the lover's card leads us to the art card. The art card is the consummation of the lovers. It is that creation and reformation of the divine androgyne, the birth of new life and generation. Right? We come together in intimate, loving connection in order to create something greater than ourselves. And this is that process of true empowered refinement, leading to ego death and to growth, to a shared unity of perspective. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So much empowerment here, so much realization, but we're going to have to pass through the gates of death. We're going to have to recognize our own ability, break free of false expectations and of fear, and have the strength to endure, to face the pressures of the wheel, to pass through the fearful energy of death, and to gain that new perspective, to commit, to shed our ego and transform in loving refinement, to see ourselves reflected in the other, and to create something greater than the self. Wow. Wow, Scorpio. What a powerful reading. All the love in the world to you. I hope that resonated and brought you joy. And this has been your monthly reading for November 2025. Thank you so much for listening. Peace and love. Take care.